Hi, my name is Jason from Boly Incorporated, and today I'm going to go over the steps on how to set up one of our standard Boly cameras with built-in LCD screen. So first thing you're going to do is open up the camera, and you're going to put in the batteries and the SD card. Typically our cameras use 8 AA batteries, and we have a few models that do use 4 AA batteries. When you're putting these in, make sure you have them lined up correct to the polarity that's listed on the battery dock. For the SD card, one thing to note is there's a little slider on the side here, and that locks and unlocks the SD card. You want to make sure that the SD card is unlocked, or the camera's not going to recognize the SD card actually being inside of the camera. So once you have the batteries and the SD card in the camera, you're going to go ahead and move the power switch from off to setup, and that's going to turn on the LCD screen. From the LCD screen, you're going to press the menu button, and that's going to bring you into setup. From setup, to navigate between settings, you're going to move left and right, and that'll give you all the options. And to scroll between the different settings on the camera, you're going to press the up and down arrow. The first thing you want to do in setup is format the SD card. So scroll down and look for Format SD right here. Once you're on that setting, you press OK. It's going to ask you if you really want to format the SD card. Scroll over to Yes and press OK. That's going to format the SD card and kick you out of setup. Go ahead and press the menu button again. And the next thing you want to do is you want to set your clock and your time, or clock and your date. This is especially important for the timestamp, so if you really need to know the date and the time that your pictures are being taken, or it's especially important on time lapse, which is a feature I'll get into later. So once you go through setting up the date and the time, press OK. Just like formatting the SD card, it brings you out of setup mode. Go ahead and press menu again, and now you can go in and change all of your settings for the camera. First setting on the camera is camera mode, and that lets you select between photo, video, and pic and video. Now when you're selecting a different setting outside of a default setting already set on the camera, make sure you press the OK button before scrolling down to another setting. If you don't press OK on a video, so right now camera mode is on video, if you want to go to picture and you don't hit OK and you just go down to the next setting, it just goes back to whatever it was set previously. So make sure you press the OK button when you change a setting. Next is photo size, and that just changes the resolution of the picture itself. Photo burst will allow you to take 1 to 3 photos whenever the camera is triggered. Video size is the resolution of the video. Video length allows you to set the time the video takes or the video plays whenever the camera is triggered. Time lapse, that allows you to take a picture or video at a specific time that you set. So that's why it's important to have the date and the time set up correctly on the camera itself, because if that's not set up correctly, you go into time lapse and you set it to take a picture at a specific time, it's going to go off of the camera time, not what the actual time is. Next is PIR trigger, and that's for the sensitivity of the camera itself. You have options low, normal, and high. If you're in an area that has a lot of foliage where you have branches and grass and things moving around from wind, and you notice you're getting a lot of pictures with no game or whatever you're looking to take a picture of in the pictures, you might want to change the PIR trigger to low. That way it'll take less pictures of just branches and grass moving around and hopefully take more pictures of what you're trying to capture with the camera. Pir interval is a delay between when the camera will take its next picture. So the camera triggers, you can set the PIR interval all the way up to 10 minutes, and it'll basically not allow the camera to take a picture until that interval is gone. If you have something slowly moving throughout the field of view of the camera and you don't want tons of pictures of that same object, that's why you would set PIR intervals, so it has a delay on the pictures. Camera posit is short for camera position. This is useful for people that have multiple cameras on a hunting plot or property. You can set position A, B, and C, and so forth, and that'll actually timestamp right onto the picture or video that the camera's taken. So when you get back home, you take out all the SD cards, you can actually see what pictures come from what cameras. Language changes the language of the camera. Recycle storage, when turned on, if the SD card ever fills up and doesn't have room for any more pictures or videos, it'll start deleting the oldest pictures and videos to make room for the new pictures or videos that the camera is taking. Version will give you the information like the camera model and the firmware version. So if you ever have any questions and you need help with like the Boly customer service, usually you'll need the firmware and the camera version, and that's where you would get that information. Default set is short for default settings. That'll basically just bring everything back to default if you've made any changes within the settings themselves. So once you're done getting through all the setup and all the settings and everything, you're going to go and slide the power switch to on, and you're going to close the camera. You're going to notice a red LED light blinking on the front of the camera. That's basically just letting you know that the camera is going to go live once this LED stops blinking. Once the LED is stopped blinking, the camera is live and you're good to go.